Have you ever heard footsteps so heavy they made the ground shake? Have you ever seen a shadow so big it covered the sun? The people of NZUBA had. And they would never forget it. One morning, just before sunrise, the birds suddenly stopped singing. The wind died. The goats froze in place. And then, boom, boom, boom. The earth shook. Dishes fell. Water spilled. People ran outside, looking around in fear. Then they heard a voice, loud, deep, and scary. I am Goro, the giant of Mount NZUBA. This land now belongs to me. From behind the tall, rocky mountain, something huge stepped into the morning light. It was Goro. He was taller than any tree, with feet bigger than water drums. His skin was black like coal, and his hair looked like sharp, dry branches. His red eyes glowed like fire, and his teeth were long and yellow. The people screamed. Children cried. The strong men grabbed spears, but their hands shook. Goro walked into the village like a lion among sheep. He kicked down houses, pulled food from cooking pots, and even picked up goats and chickens and stuffed them into a big sack on his back. I'll be back in 3 days. Bring more food next time, or I'll crush this place, he shouted, then walked away, laughing like thunder. The people of NZUBA were broken. Some wanted to run. Some wanted to hide in the forest. But old Mama Amoka, the village elder, said, we will not run. This is our home. But what could they do? Goro was too big, too strong. Every 3 days, he came back and took more yams, maize, meat, even firewood. The warriors tried fighting him, but it was useless. Goro knocked them away like flies. Fear filled the village like smoke. Laughter disappeared. Music stopped. Even the animals were quiet. Then, one night, after Goro's 4th visit, Mama Amoka called a big meeting. The fire in the center of the village crackled as everyone sat in silence. Fighting him will not work, she said. We must find another way. No one spoke. Then, a quiet voice said, I have an idea. It was Chokomika, a small, thin boy whom most people hardly noticed. He always sat alone, drawing shapes in the dirt or watching the sky. Chokomika stood up. Goro is big and strong. But he is also slow, and he eats too much. And after he eats, he sleeps. The people listened closely now. What if we feed him something that makes him sleep even longer? Chokomika asked. Then, when he sleeps, we can stop him. A few people laughed at first. You think a child can beat a giant? One man asked. But Mama Amoka nodded. Sometimes, a small mind sees what big eyes miss. She looked at Chokomika. Tell us your plan. The next day, everyone got to work. The women cooked a giant pot of sweet porridge, the kind Goro loved. Mama Amoka added a special mix of herbs, sleepy herbs, the kind used to calm angry animals during storms. The men built a strong clay bowl as big as a canoe and filled it with the porridge. Then, they placed it in the center of the village. Everyone hid. Children held their breath. Even the drums were silent. Soon, the ground began to shake. Boom. 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 Goro was coming. He saw the bowl and smiled. Ha, ha. H-A-A. Now this is more like it, he said. He sat down and began to eat. He didn't even chew. He slapped and swallowed and licked the bowl clean. Then, he let out a huge yawn. That was good, he mumbled, lying down in the grass. In moments, he was snoring. Snort. The trees shook. The birds flew off again. Now it was time. The villagers rushed out. They had thick ropes made from strong vines, fishing nets, and heavy logs. They tied Goro's hands and feet, wrapped his body, and put big stones on his chest so he couldn't move. Hours later, Goro woke up. He roared. He thrashed. But he couldn't move. Mama Amoka stood in front of him, holding her walking stick. You came to steal from us. But now we take back what is ours. Let me go, Goro shouted. But no one was afraid anymore. The people built a giant cart. It took 5 days. They loaded the tied-up giant onto the cart and began pulling him back to Mount NZUBA. It was hard work. They pushed with logs, pulled with ropes, and sang brave songs as they went. At the top of inside, but the rocks didn't move. They left him there, trapped, forever. Back in Saka, the people rebuilt their homes. They planted new crops the mountain. They found a deep, dark cave. They rode Goro inside and sealed the entrance with giant stones. Goro roared and screamed from the cave. They danced again. They laughed again. And Chukwemeka. He became the youngest hero in village history. Not because he was strong, but because he was smart, calm, and brave when no one else was. And to this day, when children in Saka tell stories by the fire, they say, even the biggest problem can fall asleep if you know how to feed it.